welcome to Young Kizzy, the one YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red subscribe button down below and turn on the bell icon. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section.
This Sunday afternoon, your government wishes to update the nation relating to matters we believe we must be on the same page with the rest of the nation and the citizenry. On a very important day coming tomorrow. So today is Advent to a day tomorrow, Monday, when Bill number 7 will be tabled before Parliament for debate, determination, and if need be, and there will be need, a vote there. For the new Dawn administration and President Hakainde Hichilema, we take Bill 7 as a deal breaker in the promotion of more and wider participation by women, by youth, and differently abled in our country. For decades, every year on International Women's Day, which comes on 8th March every year, the NGOCC, then through FAWEZA, through Women's for Change, through Women's Lobby, and now NGOCC as the umbrella Women Agenda organization, have been crying for increased women participation in decision making, particularly political decision making. Successive governments and presidents have been gracing that day, giving various and or diverse statements about how they care about women, without opening the door for women to come on the decision-making table to begin to make decisions for themselves, for the youth to come on the decision-making table to make decisions for themselves, for the differently abled to come on the decision-making table to make decisions for themselves. This is that time in the history of our country when you have a president who is magnanimous. President Hakainde Hichilema and his administration would like to give democracy its full meaning, not just on paper, but in real terms, that democracy is the rule of the people, by the people, for the people, through determination of adult suffrage. That is to say, through a ballot that those eligible decide to choose who should lead a nation and in what manner. And democracy, anchored on the rule of the majority, should respond to the needs of the majority. The majority in this country are women and the youth. It is their time to participate at the decision-making table. The women and youth of Zambia are tired of escorting men to parliament. They are tired of being made to stand on queue to dance for men to become MPs. They also want to become MPs so that they can become decision makers of their own future. Let us rise to the occasion, all of us, as citizens, and let us not fear what the naysayers are saying. In a democracy, there will always be those who are opposed, even to good ideas. They will be there. That is why we also have the devil opposing God himself. That is the nature of life. So, scarecrow drum beaters who are out there every day misleading the nation that Bill number 7 is illegal should not be listened to, and their messages must be dismissed with the contempt deserving. There is no illegality whatsoever in terms of the constitution of Bill number 7 and its tabling before the floor of the House. For those of you who were watching Diamond TV, where there was a state council to state council debate, Honorable Haime versus Honorable Sakuba Scott, state council, both, you saw how state council Sakuba Scott found himself in troubled waters because he took feelings and personal views and not the law to a discussion table. Now, are those the people you are going to listen to who are saying this bill is illegal? There was a debate, and the nation listened. And we have challenged the naysayers to say, in terms of this constitution, can you name one article which we are in violation of? There is none. So the citizens should know, therefore, that the heightened, orchestrated opposition to Bill number 7 is politically motivated. Nothing more, nothing less. Otherwise, Bill number 7 is forward-looking. Bill number 7 is going to be debated and determined and voted upon tomorrow. And Bill number 7 will go through via a landslide vote in Parliament, a wide majority. Where we stand today, Bill number 7 is unstoppable. Bill number 7 is unstoppable. And this will not be by way of arrogance of numbers on the floor of the House. No. This will be by way of consensus. After Honorable Kasune, Minister for Justice, yesterday presented as a sponsor for the bill the amendments in line with the report of the technical committee carrying on board the aspirations of the people of Zambia. Amongst parliamentarians, there is now a convergence zone. The only challenge which is there now is that some members of parliament are faced with threats from some church leaders out there. Some members of parliament are faced with threats from some traditional leaders out there, threatening that if you vote for Bill number 7, me as your bishop, me as your shepherd, me as your pastor, I'll take it personal to campaign you in 2026. Some traditional leaders out there are taking it personal to threaten some members of parliament that if you vote for Bill number 7, as your chief, I'll take it personal to decampaign you come 2026. That is the only thing which is happening now among us parliamentarians, because the issues of controversy have been ironed out. Bill number 7 wants to increase women participation, youth participation, differently abled participation in the decision-making process and governance of the country. Those who are opposed to Bill number 7 are male chauvinists who would like to maintain the status quo of a male-dominated society. And President Hakainde Hichilema is saying no to that. this is time for change. We must accept change when it comes. And this is good change, to increase wider participation for women. In fact, inversely and invariably, those same people who are opposed to Bill number 7, claiming need for wider participation, are at variance with the very essence of the initial foundation of the argument. They are talking about wider consultation. We are past that stage. As government, we are now talking about wider participation in decision making. That's what Bill number 7 is anchored on. The issues we were agreed upon that were contained in Bill number 10 of 2021 have found breath in Bill number 7. Those issues include, inter alia, or among others, amending Article 52(6) to do with renomination, where a candidate withdraws. Amending Article 103 to do with a petition should be heard and determined. Returning members of parliament to the council. Removing term limits for mayors and council chairpersons. To delimitate constituencies and what? In line with Article 58 of the Constitution of Zambia, which provides that every 10 months the Electoral Commission should review and determine boundaries of wards and constituencies to take into account population increase. That is what we are doing in Bill number 7. Those issues I've raised, they are all contained in Bill number 10 of 2021. And we were agreed on those. But the other issues I raised the other day, such as to make chiefs to begin to vote for a chairperson of the House of Chiefs, we said that will politicize and divide the House. We refused. To amend Article 189 to remove retired civil servants on the payroll, we said no. Article 62 to remove the power of Parliament from ratifying contracts or loans that government enters into on behalf of the people, we said no. We also rejected a proposal to abolish the Industrial Relations Court, because we said this is a specialized court to deal urgently with matters of our workers. We rejected a proposal to abolish all service commissions and vest those powers in a president. We rejected a clause that needed us to go into a coalition government. We rejected a clause to do with a legally disqualified candidate. We rejected a clause that 3 months before Parliament dissolves, you have to resign from a political party if you want to stand on another political party's ticket. We rejected a proposal that if you are a civil servant, you wish to stand as a councillor, a mayor, or as an MP, you need to resign from the civil service 2 years before Parliament dissolves. We said those were draconian and so drastic and despotic proposals, so affront to our democracy. Those are the issues we said no to Bill 10. We didn't just say no, we don't want Bill 10 because we are opposition. No, those are the issues. So the ones who are opposing Bill number 7, can they point at the issues they are opposing? Because the issues that members of Parliament were concerned with and or about, through the submission of Honorable Kasone yesterday before the Select Committee, have been ironed out. So what's the issue? Let us not oppose for the sake of opposing. We have a country to lead, we have a country and generation to hand over to, a country better than where we found it. Let us, all of us, run a better struggle for the nation so that the nation becomes a viable going concern going forward. So, I would like to indicate here that we as government have noted circulation in social media what purports to be a report of the Select Committee. We would like to indicate that the report that should be relied upon is that one which will be presented tomorrow on the floor of the House. That is the report which will be debated, and those who wish to cause or propose amendments to Bill number 7 are free to do so. Even bishops, even pastors, even headmen or chiefs, you are at liberty to petition your member of parliament to move an amendment to Bill number 7 and not kill Bill number 7. We should not throw the child with bathwater. There are a lot of good things that are progressive and forward-looking in that particular bill. Those who are opposing Bill number 7 are opposing for the sake of politics. But for whose benefit? You heard the passionate appeal from the differently abled before the Select Committee that yes, whereas we can talk about the limited or small number of women in parliament, but at least they are there. That they are limited or fewer numbers of youth, yes, 1 or 2. But that them, as differently abled, they stand no chance to go to parliament through this competitive process. Hence the need for proportional representation. Today, where we stand in the region, it's very clear what we are talking about. The Parliament, through the Committee on Legal Affairs, which I was privileged to chair myself, has performed numerous trips at taxpayers' expense into the region and the whole world to go and find out the modus on how other jurisdictions have done it to bring more women into Parliament as an exchange of best practices, and also to bring the nation in line with the SADC protocol on gender parity representation in decision-making in government. Report after report has been read on the floor of the House on affirmative action that is the only way that you can't expect women, youth, and differently abled to compete on equal terms with men. Those reports are there. The same people who have been bringing those reports to Parliament are the same people now saying, no, we can't support women to come to Parliament. Honorable Sakwiba Scott, as Member of Parliament for the UPND, then as he was, not what he is today, is the one who moved one of the key proposals that are contained in Bill number 7 to define clearly what it means that a Member of Parliament should be in Parliament for a term of 5 years. He even dragged Parliament and dragged government to the courts for that particular issue. And successive parliamentarians have been debating this issue, which Honorable Sakwiba Scott initiated and took legal action over. Today, his proposal is contained in Bill number 7. He is telling people, let's not support Bill number 7. That's hypocrisy. Those who hold themselves to be leaders, and those who have established themselves to have a voice that otherwise can be trusted or may be trusted, should know that when they take turns into their pecuniary private advantage, they are putting the nation at risk, because the citizens believe them even when they have taken a turn which is political and for their personal benefit. Some citizens may think what they are saying is right, such as what Honorable Sakuba Squatter is doing. That is great disservice to nation. Countries that have moved, that have developed, have one thing in common. They have leaders of integrity, leaders of morality, leaders of truth. And that's why in advanced jurisdictions you find that when you find that you're at variance with what is expected of you as a leader, you resign. So people like Honorable Sakuba Squatter are supposed to resign from politics because they have nothing good to offer to country. Nothing. Opposition politics, not about opposing the government. It is about opposing those things that government would like to do which are inimical to national interest. So, we have also seen circulating on social media a list of members of parliament said that these are the ones who are going to vote for bill number 7, and that if these, I think there are 22 or so, if these don't vote for bill number 7 will collapse. We would like the citizens to dismiss that list with the contempt it deserves and stop ostracizing those members of parliament who are on that list. Because Article 76 of this Republican Constitution vests exclusive legislative authority to members of parliament to make and amend laws, including the Constitution, as espoused in terms of Article 79 of the Republic of Zambia. We also understand that that is a scarecrow. It is a political gimmick meant to instill fear in those members of parliament. I want those who have generated that list and their surrogates to know that the list is bigger than 22. We are united and agreed as members of parliament. So stop interfering with the work of members of parliament. Stop threatening members of parliament, because in their execution of duty, members of parliament are conferred privileges and immunities via the Parliamentary Privileges and Immunities Act Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, that whatever members of parliament say and or do on the floor of the House, no one can take them to account for that, not even the courts of law. So hallucinations by people like Kambela, who are saying that those who vote for Bill 10 will be arrested. They are a mere mental figmentation of frustration. Are not anchored on any legal and justiciable and substantiatable basis. Nothing, zero. So, dear colleagues, members of parliament, tomorrow the nation, the whole nation will be looking at you. But I want you to know, each one of you, tomorrow is not about you. It is about the nation. It is about women. Are you standing on the side of women? Are you standing on the side of youth? Are you standing on the side of the differently abled? It is the very first time in constitutional law making or amendment that we have the labor movement, the student movement, the differently abled movement stand shoulder to shoulder, hand in glove with government. The student movement opposed the MMD Kaunda parentage clause. They opposed that constitution. In 2001, the student movement, the labor movement, opposed the third term. In 2006, the student movement, the labor movement, wanted constitutional amendments to the constitution at variance in all instances with government. This is the first time. So, our colleagues, the leadership of Law Association of Zambia, who have not cared to consult their membership, the women movement, who have been calling for more women to be represented, the church, who should be neutral on political matters. Who are you representing when you are saying no to bill number 7? Who? There is still time for introspection and self-assessment of judgment of what you are standing for today, ahead of tomorrow. That the concerns that you were raising, those mainly that came through the technical committee report and or with the lay draft B of the Mushabati Technical Committee, have been embraced by the sponsor of the bill, have been tabled before the select committee, and tomorrow as a nation will be watching all the issues that were controversial and or contentious may and will not find expression through the new bill number 7. So, members of parliament are resolved and united on bill number 7. The only challenge out there is those who have political interest and those who have been given a passport to be spokespersons of politicians, even wearing a different configuration. They are the ones who are still saying no. Your government has heard your no stance, and the government is magnanimous to work with the citizens. There is nothing more to oppose in bill number 7. So, let us move together as a nation for the betterment of our people. Honorable Munduvile, who is positioning himself as a candidate for the presidency of a faction of PF, and Honorable Kafaya, who is also a candidate, please stop misleading people. In fact, there is something interesting people must remember here, that Honorable Munduvile, whereas he wants to lead the PF, is a very weak candidate. Very weak candidate on the ground. Because notwithstanding that he was in the ruling party, and in many polling stations we didn't even have agents ourselves, he won by a paltry 30 votes only. Honorable Kafaya, similar. We didn't have agents in many polling stations, and he was in a ruling party, he was a minister. He won by a paltry 11 votes in Lund. Makebi Zuru, another candidate, as a minister of a province, lost as an MP You lose a constituency, then you want to say, I want to be a president. For which country? Stop these jokes, come on. You know, we have a country to lead, eh? And those who hold themselves out to be leaders must bring some level of decency to leadership. Because we lead God's people. So let's not mock people. Dear colleagues, I thought it was important that today we ventilate on these issues so that we allay anxieties of a nation that Bill number 7 will be forced down the throat of the citizens. Bill number 7, which will be on the floor of the House tomorrow, will be fundamentally different. It has carried on board the spirit of the Mushabati Technical Committee report and the lay draft bill thereof, and also the various submissions of the citizens. Citizens should not take serious anyone questioning Bill 7 for want of consultation. When we have been calling on citizens all this period that if you didn't speak to Bill number 7, please go now to Parliament. Parliament is sitting. You go and make submissions before Parliament. And many citizens went in individual capacities and also organizational capacities. So the issue of want of consultation has been nullified. There is no question of legality. There is only one question remaining. Political. And we are defeating them tomorrow. All of us. Not as UPND, no, but as members of Parliament. Because this has got nothing to do with UPND. This has got everything to do with the women, the youth, and differently abled of our country. In the region, we all are aware that the economy of Rwanda is a lead economy on the continent. And when you go to the parliament of Rwanda, 64% of the parliamentarians are women. And that's why they're even doing better. Even in our homes, women make better decisions mainly than us men. When male MPs knock off from parliament, they have various places to pass through. Yes, we must be honest. Caucuses, how they are going to run the forthcoming elections and so on. But women from parliament straight home to go and cook for family. Women are responsible people. Without women, there can be no stable homes. Without women, there can be no stable society. There can be no stable country. These are realities. Why do we want to shut and slam the door in their face that, remain singing for us while we go into parliament to decide for you, but you are the majority? No. President HH is clear on this matter. And even those who are wielding a political threat, us we shall use a church, this church, us we shall use this organization, us we shall use this affiliation to decampaign you in 2026. He's saying, so be it, but posterity will judge President HH correctly. And it's a duty of a leader who wants to change a country to take decisions that risk even the very foundation of his electoral success, if what he stands for is what is right for country and his people, the people who elected him. We are not scared of losing bill number 7, and we are not going to lose it tomorrow. May God bless our great country, Zambia. Thank you, dear colleagues.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for that elaborate presentation. Members of the press, this marks the end of this briefing this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Yes, we do. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Kizzy, can you do it?